I'm your host, Davida Shinsky, and you're listening to Live Without Limits, Dreams Come True with the Right Mindset. And today we're going to be talking about, do you want marital success? 4 reasons to try premarital counseling. And one of the reasons, even though this specifically is not on personal development, if you want a good relationship that's going to last for a lifetime, you need to get and be on the right page and be able to have a good relationship with good communication, because the rate of divorce is so high today. So, want marital success? 4 key reasons to try premarital counseling. Most people going into a marriage tend to believe it will work out. If you ask newlyweds if they believe that they'll ever experience a divorce, most of them will firmly say, no way, we adore each other. However, statistics show that the divorce rate is upwards of 40%. This means that at least 4 out of 5 marriages don't make it for the long term, even though the couple probably thought they were in it till death do us part. That being said, it's actually a great idea to look at the benefits of premarital counseling. And I have a friend who is a family and marriage counselor. And when she was first dating her husband, he could see himself married to her. But when it came up to getting married, he had a problem and they broke up many times. So, this is why premarital counseling is so important. And since she was going through training at the time for as a marriage counselor, they went in for marriage counseling. So, typically couples wait until there are problems in the relationship before they even consider going to a professional counselor. However, the Journal of Family Psychology states that those who undergo premarital counseling or education decrease their risk of divorce by 30%. The percentage boost is well worth the investment. Premarital counseling is actually one of the wisest things that you and your fiance can do as a couple. Why? Studies have shown that such counseling decreases the rate of divorce for couples who take it seriously. Sure, you're guaranteed to occasionally face conflict or disagreements in marriage. Even the easiest of people to get along with run into conflict with a spouse at one time or another. Learning how to face and resolve conflict early on is one of the best things that you can do for your marriage. That there is the key thing, because every relationship is going to run into conflict. You see it in families with children, and brothers and sisters argue with each other. It's common for those things to happen. And remember, you're dealing with personalities. And when you're dealing with personalities, what works at one point may not work at another point. But if you work at it and you understand why you do things, then the opportunities to overcome those differences is what is going to make it last. So the 4 key benefits to premarital counseling: you may wonder how couples counseling will benefit you before you get married. You are likely still in the honeymoon phase and may not be experiencing much conflict or differences of opinion. However, there's more to marriage than simply resolving conflicts when they arise. When you take time to invest in premarital counseling, you're allowing a professional relationship counselor to prepare you for marriage vows, communication, morals, and more. The following are some key reasons you may want to invest in premarital counseling. You can define a solid team mission. Do you both feel you're going into the marriage as a solid team? What is the primary mission of your marriage? What are the main objectives? Is there any substance to it? Are you able to partner and work toward the same things in life? Do you both want a family? When life throws major obstacles your way, will you face them together as a strong team? Answering these questions individually and together is a wonderful way to begin a marriage, as you can work toward being the same page. That is, you can work towards being on the same page. You can put everything out there on the table with a safe moderator in the room, just in case there are differences that come up and you're not sure how to work through them. 2, you can define your marriage vows. A vow is the promise. Marriage vows are promises that you and your fiance make to each other. What sort of things are important to the two of you? What do you promise to do for each other in the marriage? Be fully present. Can you listen and empathize with one another? Can you offer genuine support and respect? Can you commit to loving each other unconditionally? Can you offer some security and build a firm foundation? Can you meet each other's strongest needs? Answering these questions gives you both a chance to dig deep and really think about what it is that you want to commit to with your life partner. Being present with a counselor as you discuss these things may help you feel safer to open up and be fully honest. You'll also get some guidance in case you run into some obstacles. 3, you can talk about values. What is it that you and your fiance value? What kind of lives do you want to live together? Do you value honesty? Do you also value integrity? Do you both seek financial independence? Do you have a solid work ethic? Are you trustworthy? Do you feel free to communicate honestly? What about religion and spirituality? Are you on the same page? And that's the big thing, because many a times when you see people with different religions, not as much in Christianity, different sects, but between Judaism and Christianity, there is a big difference. And even though you've seen some marriages work long time, religion does play a factor, and it can come between you. Taking a Talking about what is important to each other is important for understanding each other. You certainly don't want to commit to life if your values are completely opposite, as that could create much conflict down the road. 4, you can learn to communicate. It's no secret that some people have a tougher time communicating than others. Some couples go into marriage where they don't honestly talk about much at all. maybe they just never learned how to communicate in a healthy way growing up, and they just prefer to keep things to themselves. And that's a big thing. If you come from a similar background in families, then you have a similar way of communicating. But if you come from a toxic family, then your way of communicating can create problems in the relationship. And even though it may not show up immediately, or maybe it shows up, but it's on the surface and it's not as deep, once the marriage vows are said, then you're bound to be there. And you cannot be around someone 24/7, 7 days a week, rather 24 hours, 7 days a week, and not get on each other's nerves. And when you can factor in 365 days, and as you can see, we just went through a serious pandemic where people were isolating and families were together constantly, then if it was a good relationship to begin with, then it became more cohesive. But if not, it became much more fractured. Either way, things are going to come at you in a relationship that will require you to have open, healthy conversations. Keeping things bottled up inside will come out and hit the relationship in one way, shape, or form later, and that may not feel so pleasant. A counselor will be able to assess your communication skills based on what you share with them, helping you improve them. Other topics that you can be covered in premarital counseling include parenting styles, finances, gender roles, and extended family, sex, and more. Key to a healthy marriage, premarital counseling, or education can be one key toward a normal, successful, long lasting marriage. As with any healthy relationship, it will take time, effort, and even learning from your mistakes along the way. Even just a couple of sessions can help you build a stronger foundation. Plus, one or both of you may discover individual areas that you would like some counseling for, such as anxiety, chronic stress, childhood trauma, and so on. Surely you want a beautiful, healthy, lasting marriage. So if you want to boost your chances, consider having a conversation about premarital counseling or education. The investment will be well worth it. And here's the thing, and why this is so important to you, that when I have a 5-day challenge, and one thing that we cover on is the unconscious thoughts, because when you speak from your unconscious thoughts, it creates problems. The next thing we talk about is toxic relationships, because those toxic relationships, if you don't recognize them, then that's something that you're going to be doing on an ongoing basis. So, here's the third day we talk about the workplace culture. And because we all have certain behavior patterns in the way we speak, and if you talk to someone at this level, then you're going to get good things done. But if you're coming at someone this way and talking down to them or talking up to them, it's going to create problems. So you have to be able to understand how to adapt your communication style. On the fourth day, we talk about how to change those negative thoughts into positive ones. The last day, we review and talk about where do we go from here. And what I want you to do is go to changeyourthoughtschallenge.com/join the challenge to take part in my free 5-day workshop or my 5-day challenge.